What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Welcome, everybody. It is time for the Awakening World Weekend. And I want to welcome everybody that's in our Zoom room. And please let us know where you're from geographically. It's really fun to see the people from all over the world. And speaking of all over the world, I want to welcome all of our friends watching on Facebook, starting with our friends watching on Unify. I will keep looking down here. That's where I've got another device, checking to see what's going on our Facebook pages. So I'll be reading your comments and your questions. But I really want to encourage everybody, come on into our Zoom room directly. We've got amazing guests, and you're going to want to be able to chat with them. We've got some really fun people with us. So if you come into our Zoom room, it's easier for us to connect. How do you do that? Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, and register. It takes about a minute. And then once you register, you're going to get the links, not just to tonight, but to all of our shows for the next 2 months, all the way through the end of June. And for any of you who don't know, The Awakening World is on Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday morning. We take a topic and we explore it throughout the weekend. For example, last weekend, it was all about Earth Day and how do we make every day Earth Day. Now, tonight's topic is a really fun one because we're collaborating with an old buddy of mine, and I'm going to bring him on camera. This is Kenny Kaufman. And Kenny is the proud owner, creator, founder of the new Living Expo. He also was huge in helping to get Saturday Night Alive started. So for any of you that are old fans of ours, and remember like the first 6 months of Saturday Night Alive, you remember Ken. He did all of our fundraising and he was a big part of the show. But just as Saturday Night Live was honoring people during the pandemic, he had to kind of take a break, but it's happening. The new Living Expo is finally happening. Tell us how you feeling about that, Ken.
Super excited. It's been nonstop, busy with trying to get all the logistics ready to go for the next week. We got a whole nother week to get it together to be able to roll out a fantastic show. The energy of this show, I've never felt so much built up of energy. It's been like, 3 years since we had our last show, April of 2019. And, it's like I had to roll it out at a time where the people were ready to receive the information. Obviously, as the stars aligned, higher powers in control, it's the perfect time. I took a chance about 3 months ago to say, well, I wonder if it's going to happen. Are things going to really open up? I'm really hoping so, because, before we had mass vaccination required and that wouldn't work. So I was taking a little bit of a gamble, but I had a feeling it would happen. And so, March 1st, the mask came off, and April 1st, no proof of vaccination required. So it's basically like the good old days. It's like pre-COVID times. Finally, and it stayed that way. And, with everything staying low and people are just feeling safer and safer all the time. So It's going to be a fantastic event where we can still reconnect with each other. It's been so long and people have been waiting, and I think the time has come. We need to join together and celebrate life.
Absolutely. Well, you just described the best part of the expo is being able to see each other and connect with community. Hey, there she is. There is. Hey,
My
good to
bride.
see you. Absolutely. Your lovely bride. Hello there.
Woman behind the man. Mwah.
That's
With
right.
the man.
How are you feeling about everything and finally having
Wow.
the expo happening
Well,
again?
having a little booth, a little expo for myself inside the big expo is very exciting, I must say. A little
Oh,
seaweed art booth.
First time in 20 years.
I'm having my
wow.
own booth.
And tell us about your booth.
Well, when I was a little girl, I saw a bookmark with green seaweed on it, and I thought, oh, I'm going to try that with pink seaweed. And I developed my own form of making seaweed art as a little girl. And now I'm a seaweed artist, and, come see my booth. It's really extraordinary to see what's floating around in the ocean.
It brings it to
Wow.
life. Yeah.
It's so pink, purple. It's outrageous.
Seaweedartist.com is her website, and she has a line of greeting cards, which we sold in the bookstore in the past, and now she's going to bring her big stuff.
Fantastic.
Prints and the originals, and it'll be exciting.
Quite
Oh
a
my
show.
God, that's so cool. I can't wait. Well, see, there you go. That's one of the things that's great about the expo is that you're going to find everything there, including things that you'd never imagined. I mean, when was the last time you thought about seaweed art? Not for a while. And the other great thing about the expo is that Kenny gets the most amazing presenters, and several of them are going to be with us all weekend long, including tonight. And so I want to introduce some of the people we're going to hear from tonight, sharing their wisdom and their tools for transformation. And we're going to start off with Bruce Lipton. I am so grateful. Bruce, welcome to the Awakening World.
I am so excited to be here with you and with Ken. Just to let you know that obviously a lot is going on in the world, and a lot of people think it's just like chaos. And I say it is chaos because chaos is not random. Something is going on here, and chaos means there's an underneath program that a lot of people can't see, and hopefully we'll share some information about what is actually going on. And everyone's looking at it all coming down and the world's crazy, and I'm going, it's a wonderful start for a new world that we're making.
You know, birth is messy. Labor pains are uncomfortable. And when that baby comes out, there's blood and all sorts of stuff going on, right?
Yeah, but boy, the future is so bright. I tell you, it's just everyone's so caught up in the fear, not recognizing, no, if it wasn't breaking down, we'd have a real problem.
That's right.
And that breaking down is necessary because obviously we're not a sustainable civilization, and we're precipitating what's called the sixth mass extinction of life on this planet. Which means 5 previous mass extinctions have gone here, and up to 90% of life got wiped out on each one. The last one was when the dinosaurs were here and a comet hit near the Yucatan Peninsula, wiped out 75% of life, including all the dinosaurs. And today we're in the 6th mass extinction, and science has been telling us for 15 years, and not many people paying attention, human behavior is causing this mass extinction. And that if you understand this, then guess what? We can change human behavior and instead of just surviving, actually thrive into the future. And I'd like to talk about that tonight when we get a chance.
Fantastic. Well, I'm really glad to have you with us. And yeah, it's having somebody with your wisdom and your perspective is wonderful. Bruce, welcome aboard. Great to have you with us.
I'm happy, so happy to be here with you guys. Thank you.
Another person that I'm really excited about, and you saw her on our show a couple weeks ago on our anniversary show, this is Tangela. And she has created a wonderful opportunity for us to meet and connect called Soul Search. And she was just telling me before we went on air that a lot of people from Global Peace Tribe have been signing up for Soul Search. So if you have not signed up yet, you're going to want to do that. Tangela, quick question for you, kind of riffing off what Bruce was just talking about. How do you see the way our world is transforming?
Hi, Scott, and hi, everyone. So great to be back and to be with everyone this evening. And I think that's such an important question because, like Bruce was saying, there's so much fear around us. Obviously, we're coming out of COVID. There's wars taking place, and people can be very desolate in terms of what's happening with our world and what's happening in the future. But we are in a time of global transformation and global awakening, and sometimes things have to fall apart for them to come together. And so I think the most important aspect of this is for us to, remain hopeful and in the highest of vibrations that we can. So that because we in essence are conscious creators of our own reality, and we can create the beautiful future together that is possible for us. And that's really part of why, we've launched and created Soul Search to create community and spiritual community where we can be coming together for the conscious creation of our new reality during this global awakening.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Shangela, for being with us. Of course, we're going to learn all about Soul Search and all the wonderful ways people can come together. So thank you very much. I'm really glad you're with us.
Thank you.
Speaking of glad she's here, my wonderful co-host. She's been traveling the world doing all sorts of amazing things. Welcome, Trish.
Hi, thank you for having me. And it's nice to see you, Ken and Tangela and Bruce. And what a really powerful topic. Can I share a little bit about where I am today? Because
Yeah.
it's part of this. Right now, one of my best friends and I are doing a conference with a woman named Rivera, and it really is. She's empowering the transformative healers to really rise up and make their money in the world. She's giving us like marketing tools that are really outside of the paradigm that has been. And I think that's what's happening between, well, Extinction and oh wait, guess what?
Oh my God, we get two for the price of one. It's Dawn Light. Hello, Dawn.
You got self-love lovers over here. Well, you know what I mean. So what I was
topless. I have clothes on, I promise.
We're having a great time. But what I wanted to say is just that when we shift through different paradigms, and as we're shifting our literal, we're shifting on a global level, on a spiritual level, on an interpersonal level. I mean, it's the microcosm, the macrocosm, so we're all feeling it, right? Yeah. And this is kind of what an ego death feels like. It's just kind of crunchy and finding that way to remember to be compassionate, remember to be in, what did Esther Perel say? Be in the relational ambivalence and to just hold that with love and compassion. I was like, oh, so I think that's what's happening.
Yeah. While we've got both of these ladies, I just want to remind everybody, if you have not already started, every Thursday morning they do a beautiful show together called the Self-Love Show. And I build, like it's in my calendar every week to watch. They have wonderful guests and they provide wonderful tools. And, the most important form of love is self-love. And they teach it in a wonderful, wonderful way. So Thursday mornings, you can catch it on Facebook, learn all about it by just going to the Self-Love Show. And thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Trish, for bringing so much love into our life.
Yeah. Well, hey, even all of these people here might be on the show someday. You never know.
Absolutely. Here's one person for sure you want to have. This is Kimberly Meredith. And Kimberly is a friend who I've always had tremendous respect for. She was on Saturday Night Live a few times. And Kimberly brings a lot of wonderful things to the table. She is, well, I'll let you kind of share more about yourself, Kimberly, but what I've always been impressed with is the way that you combine kind of your near-death experiences, your spiritual, medical, medium abilities, and you really bring it down into a way that people can understand and connect to you. So, same question, during these transformational times, when you're dealing with people that are scared, that are really like afraid, Putin's gonna do nuclear war or whatever it is, how do you help people calm down? What is your recommendation?
Thanks for having me here actually today. I really appreciate it. It's nice to be here with everybody. It's nice to have community. I'm actually, that's a great question, but I'm also super really excited to be at the new Living Expo. I'm so geared up and I love it. Right now we are forced to move out of the third dimension, which is the fear and the disease and all the stuff that's happening in our world. And for me, I'd say on a daily basis, working with people, not only in events, but in my office. And it's not a difficult task because I help people get into the fifth dimension and beyond. And with that, people are excited about going into this fifth dimension and beyond because there's so many dimensions we can get into. When I wrote the book, Awakening to the Fifth Dimension, it was very easy because it's channeled text and people are excited about leaving this, and we are depopulating right now, and it's awakening fast. And people want to get in that because we're in the age of the Aquarius right now. And just like you all are saying, and Dr. Bruce Lipton is saying, that we have to move right now and push ourselves, and we are being pushed into this awakening right now. And so as much as it may be painful at times to go through this 3D world, it's actually super exciting. And so because I see so many miracles every day, and I'm actually experienced the miracle being healed because I lived in a wheelchair for many years, and I see so many sick people that come to me, but then they're fastly healed emotionally and physically because they accept that they can be healed in this higher dimensional frequency. So to answer the question that, what do? I don't really do anything because it's not me that does the healing. It's the energy of source that's doing the healing. And the energy of source is so powerful and so amazing that when people understand how they can get into that energy, and people want to get into that energy and they don't want to be in the 3D world anymore, it's just a super fun ride and people are excited about getting into it.
Wow, well, I'm really looking forward to hearing more from you about how to make that transition. But I have one more person I want to introduce, and this is a new friend. I just met him 10 minutes ago, but he's also going to be at the New Living Expo, and this is Dr. Ravi Ratan from India. Welcome, and he's a clinical aromatherapist and also a healer, and he integrates aromatherapy with lymph drainage and chakra healing. And he's the owner of Aroma Tantra. Now that's a beautiful combination. I know both those words, but I've never heard those words put together before. So we're going to learn all about Aroma Tantra. And I guess, Ravi, tell us a little bit about that. What is Aroma Tantra and how did you create that?
Okay. I actually come from India. I don't live in the United States. I travel out of India twice a year, and I do clinical aromatherapy. And over a period of time doing aromatherapy, I got exposed to chakras and chakra healing. And my concept of chakras is different than what people understand here. Because chakra is part of Tantra. Here, Tantra is, again, people think about sex. Tantra is much more than sex. Sex is just a very small aspect. Yoga, Ayurveda, chakras, everything is part of Tantra. So I thought when I was creating a company, I should combine aroma with Tantra. But Tantra has some mysticism about it, so let people feel that. But my main purpose about, like, over a period of time, I studied chakras in detail from health perspective, and I've done a book. It's called Journey Through Chakras.
Wow. Okay.
And then I also had a book on aromatherapy, which is called Essential Oils. And these two books have been published in Australia by Rockpool Publishers and in India by my own company. And I have been traveling in 2020. When I came to United States, the COVID hit and everything shut down. And I was also not able to move around, but only for 2 months I stayed still. And I then continued moving, and I traveled in and out of India in 2021 and 2022 also. And I use my essential oils to help me protect myself from COVID. And essential oils are the best tool to heal somebody. And my chakra oils are designed according to the elements associated with the chakras. Now, this is very important aspect from Ayurveda. Like we talk of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether, which are present in us. They are also present in plants. And we use those plant oils, the elements from the plant oils, for using and healing the chakras. And that helps. Now, today is the time when the consciousness of the world is shifting. According to Hindu philosophy, is the time the end of Kali Yuga is coming, and we are going towards Sat Yuga. But all this transformation cannot happen unless all this, whatever we are seeing for past 2 years, would have been happening. And only people who survive are the people with higher consciousness, or people who are following certain kind of spiritual practices. And I am a firm believer that yoga is the best thing. Yoga is not just what people think is asanas. There are 8 aspects of yoga, Ashtanga yoga, if you have heard of it. That if people follow that and raise their consciousness, they will carry on with this turmoil in the whatever is going in the world.
Beautiful. It's so good to have, what an amazing combination of people. It's actually a little embarrassing having so many wonderful people on one show. You really, and that's what it's like with the expo. At the expo, the biggest problem with the expo is you're looking at your program guide and there's 4 things happening at the same time that you want to go to all of them. So it's a challenge. We will be back to Dr. Ravi in a moment, but I am going to bring Bruce on for a moment here. Bruce, I love the Spontaneous Evolution book that you wrote with our good friend Swami. Swami, of course, is a regular on our shows. But you also wrote The Biology of Beliefs. And I'd love to ask you to go a little bit. Of course, ultimately, I encourage everyone to read The Biology of Belief, The Honeymoon Effect. I've got all of his books, and they're all so good. But what's a first step we can take to changing our belief system so we can, like Kimberly talks about, go into another dimension, move out of the reptile brain fear state and into more presence? What are some tools or steps, Bruce?
Well, I think the most important thing we really have to look at right now, Scott, is that, as we mentioned earlier, there's an evolutionary upheaval happening, a necessary one, because we've, as a human population, have precipitated what is called that 6th mass extinction, which of course includes us. Even NASA scientists have pooled so much data together, and they have come with a very profound statement. NASA says that industrial civilization, the one we're in, is facing, and I want to emphasize, an irreversible collapse within the next couple of decades. And the 2 main things I cited, one is, of course, our uses of resources and how we're polluting the planet. And one of the other interesting aspects behind it is the distribution of wealth is so crazy, where 1%'s got all the wealth and 99% are struggling to keep ourselves here. This is what NASA said is going to precipitate these changes. Well, the significance about all this is knowledge is power. Yes, knowledge is power. But let me say it in another way. A lack of knowledge is a lack of power. And this is more important because it's what we don't know that has, created and precipitated the experiences we have on this planet right now. And there are 2 fundamental things that have to come in here for people to recognize the reality of two things. Number one, we have all been programmed to believe that genes control us, the idea of genetic determinism, the genes you inherit, are sort of like a blueprint to talk about, what your future is all about. And I go, no, this is completely false, 100% false, because the new science is called epigenetics, and epi means above, so it's above genetics. Consciousness is responsible for creating our genetics and our life experiences. As a matter of fact, very important fact, less than 1% of disease is even connected to genetics. 90% or more of disease is all about lifestyle and our belief systems. And I want to, say to Trish and Dawn how important their work is for this reason. For us to move into the future, one of the things we have to recognize is that, and this is data that I've collected because we do belief change workshops, and we ask people to test one of the first beliefs, and this is Trish and Dawn's ballywick right here. The first belief we ask them is, I love myself. 80 to 90% of every population will not test positive for I love myself. And I say, so why is that? Well, if you can't love yourself, then here's a real important point. How can anybody else love you? Well, that's the problem. People are searching for love. 50% of marriages all fall apart. Why? We don't know how to relate on this level. And I'll tell you why. It's simply this, is that the Jesuits have told us for 400 years, the Jesuits have said, give me a child until it is 7 and I will show you the man. Nobody really understood what they were saying, but everybody go, oh yeah, that sounds great. And I go, no, you don't understand. They knew what we now know in science, is that the first 7 years of a child's life is programming. And I go, what do you mean? Why programming? I go, well, the brain is a computer. Yes. It boots up in the last trimester of pregnancy. The screen lights up. The brain is gone. And I say, but just like when you buy a brand new computer, I say, well, hey, you got a new computer, and you push start and it boots up. And I say, well, do something. And then you realize, no, I can't until I put programs into the machine. And when I put the programs in, then I could use the computer. So a child, first 7 years of a child's life, a state of brain, the brain state, when you put wires on their head, electroencephalograph, is a lower frequency than consciousness. It's called theta. Theta is hypnosis. I say, yes, why? And I say, because a child needs to learn thousands of rules to be a functional member of a family and a functional member of a community. I said, well, how are you going to teach that child? I go, nature took care of it. First 7 years, hypnosis. The kids watch and download the parents, the siblings, and the community's behavior like a video recorder. So the programs in our lives didn't even come from us. We copied them from other people. And the problem is this, well, if the people we copy them from are living a great life, then congratulations, you got a good copy. But almost everybody is having problems. 60% of the programs that we got in that 7-year period are disempowering, self-sabotaging, limiting. And I say, what's the relevance? And the answer is this. Well, you say, okay, subconscious got the programs. Conscious is the creator one. And I go, that's great, except for a fact that is, if you don't hear it, then you're lost. And I say, what is it? The fact is this, the conscious mind can think. I go, so what? I go, when you're paying attention and being conscious, you're looking out the window and seeing the world and maneuvering in it, okay? But when the conscious mind is thinking, this is the most important point. When the conscious mind is thinking, it's not looking out, thoughts are looking in. So the point about it is, when you are having a thought, the conscious mind lets go of the control and the subconscious is autopilot. And I said, what does that mean? I said, well, 95% of the day of every one of us, we are thinking. And I go, so what? And I go, well, if we're in the conscious mind, we're creative. But when we're thinking, we're playing the programs in the subconscious mind, which came from others with all those defects in it. And we don't see these programs because subconscious is autopilot. I go, what does that mean? I said, well, you have a friend, you know your friend's behavior very well, and you know your friend's parent, and then you get all excited. You go, "Oh, hey, Bill, you're just like your dad." I said, "Back away from Bill." I know the first thing Bill's going to say, he's going to say, "How can you compare me to my dad? I'm nothing like my dad." And the audience laughs. And I go, "That's the most profound story in the world." I say, "Why?" Everybody else can see that Bill behaves like his dad. Who's the one that doesn't see it? Bill. You ready for this? We are all Bill. Every one of us got programmed. And every day, 95% of our programs are playing while our conscious mind is busy. And we're like Bill because we don't see our own behavior. And then you recognize 60% of those programs are disempowering. I go, guess what? All day long, you're shooting yourself in the foot invisibly because you're not observing the automatic behavior you're playing 95% of the day. The reason why this becomes important is if you recognize this, that is the first step to gain empowerment. And here, very quickly, I know I'm taking a lot of time, but I'll get quick and short here. And
No, you're doing great, Bruce. This is great.
That the movie The Matrix is not science fiction. The movie The Matrix is a documentary. And I say, "What do you mean?" I say, everybody's been programmed. That's what we just talked about. Every human has been programmed for the first 7 years of their life. But I love it because in the movie, they have you take the red pill or the blue pill. I go, "What's the difference?" "Well, you take the blue pill and life is just the way it is every day." And then I say, "But what happens when you take the red pill?" And they say, "You get out of the program." And I said, "Well, what happens if you take the red pill?" And here's the beautiful part. So dearest Trish and Dawn and Kimberly and Scott, I know you know all this stuff, and Tangela, all of you are talking about the same thing. I say, what happens when you get out of the program? And the answer is science has recognized this. When you fall in love, it is the same as taking the red pill. Why? You stop thinking, you stay present, and then you become creator with your conscious mind. And what do you think you call that? The honeymoon. I go, "The honeymoon, what's that?" I go, "Heaven on earth." And I go, "Wow, does that just exist sometimes?" I say, "It's always there." The problem is that we're not playing our conscious wishes and desires, we're playing our programs. And this is the wake-up call. One of the things that we'll talk about, and I just want to add later, we'll add some more, but this is a good one, because what it says is this. A, we've been programmed. B, most of those programs are disempowering, self-sabotaging, and that we're manifesting a life that's not exactly the life that we want. And I got to close it with this. To my perception, and I can go into it, quantum physics is the most valid science on planet Earth. And I say, so what's the relevance here? And the answer, you ready? Principle number one, quantum physics recognizes that consciousness is creating our life experiences. That is principle number one, the most valid science that exists. And then I leave off with this. So how's that working for you? How's that working? You're creating, are you manifesting heaven on earth? Well, if you stay in love, oh, that's a good way of doing it. And as I emphasize, most people, 80, 95% of the people, they don't love themselves. So guess what? It's a bad creation when you can't love yourself. And this is an opportunity, and Ken Kaufman's program is a profoundly wonderful opportunity. Why? All of the programs at the new expo are programs of self-empowerment. And this is what we need in a world that looks crazy because we haven't been empowered. But if you like honeymoons and you like heaven on earth and love, well, then you have to go to the expo, because there's going to be so many presenters all talking about getting your power back, because we are creators, and that is a scientific fact. And so I'll stay this calm until you let me come back on and jump in again. Thank you.
Bruce, we love you.
You're amazing.
Come teach on the Self-Love Show, please.
Come be on the show, please.
Well, all of the speakers that we even have here tonight are all involved with what? Yes. Manifesting a heaven on earth honeymoon life experience. And it's available all the time. That's the cool part. It comes because you fall in love, but then consciousness starts to thinking, and then all of a sudden you're back in the program and the honeymoon disappears. I go, it's not that it's not there. It's just that we're not playing the love programs that we desire. And I'll leave that for Trish and Dawn. Let them talk to you about that. I'll just sit back and wait.
Bruce, this is exactly why I do decolonization work. This is why I'm deepening the understanding of how we got here. Like, how did we get to looking at our bodies in the way we do? And like, where did we learn the judgments? Where did my parents learn the judgments? Where did your parents learn it? And it just following it back is giving me the opportunity, for me personally and my clients, is the opportunity to be like, oh, I don't have to carry that anymore. And they're taking the red pill, and
Yes.
they're choosing not to perpetuate this system anymore. It's so fun.
It is.
It is. And I'll just close with the fact that, as Scott mentioned, one of the books I wrote is called The Honeymoon Effect. And I said, look, we all had programming. My programming, watching my mother and father that I got for those first 7 years, I couldn't get a relationship off the ground for over 40 years. Why? Those were bad programs, disempowering, self-sabotaging. And then once I started to understand this, then here's the greatest aspect. You can rewrite the programs. And when you rewrite the programs, you can put in the ones you want, not the ones you were given by other people. And I can attest to this. For a guy who couldn't get a relationship off the ground, I have been celebrating a honeymoon 25 years in a row. And the reason is simply this: rewriting any of those programs that sabotage you.
Yes.
And when they're all gone, then guess what? Then you're the creator without sabotage.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, I love this planet. Thank you, Ken, for letting me come to the show, because people don't realize, and I keep talking, I'm gonna say the last thing. I always go last slide. There's no last slide. I got a million of them. But the last thing is basically that a lot of people think that, oh, you live a very nice life and then you die and you can go to heaven. I will suggest something totally different. You are born into heaven.
Yes.
This is where we came to create. We are creators. If you don't like the creation, check the program.
All right. So a reminder that there are wonderful ways to get more Bruce Lipton. Of course, go to San Mateo, May 6th through 8th for the new Living Expo. That's the best way. But you can also go to his website, and it's his name, brucelipton.com. And all three of these books are fantastic. I've got all three. I should go get them, and I'll show you. I've got them. They're fantastic. I really like the one he wrote with Steve Berman. And those of you who are Global Peace Tribers, you've seen Steve, also known as Swami Byandananda. He's a regular on the show. And, I love how much you bring a lot of joy into science. You're like the happy scientist, right?
Well, I'll tell you, I've learned that it is heaven. I really have. And as a creator, I have manifested. Look, doesn't mean everything I want worked out, but guess what? When it doesn't work out, I also recognize maybe there's a reason why. And that nature, when I pushed on nature saying, I'm going to make it work, and I pushed and I got to what I wanted. And then when I got there, I go, well, it's not exactly what I wanted. And the universe was telling me all along, but I was going to make it work. And that's the problem, because some of us get so frustrated. We don't understand. The universe is always here to help us.
Yeah.
And if we close off, which we've done, then we've isolated ourselves, separated ourselves from each other, separated ourselves from nature. And the result is what is now the sixth mass extinction. We have done this, and there's a time for us to come back. And Ken's program in San Mateo is an exciting opportunity. Knowledge is power, and there's going to be so much knowledge there, self-power, self-knowledge, that will help us move into the future. So I'm excited. I know that I can see other contestants.
Yeah, I've got to bring on our other people. We've got all these wonderful people waiting in the wings. Bruce, we'll come back to Bruce one more time. I've got a couple questions already that have come in for you. Bruce, we love you. Thank you so much. All right, I am going to bring on Tangela next. And to know Tangela, well, she's awesome. I'm really enjoying getting to know her. But let's take a look at the short little video she created all about the wonderful thing that she's doing called Soul Search. And so here we go. And here we go.
During these extraordinary times, are you seeking friends and collaborators, like-minded, brilliant, beautiful souls who want to be a part of creating the new earth? Here is the answer. Welcome to Soul Search. Soul Search is the high-frequency global online destination for spirituality and consciousness, where people from around the globe like you come together for spiritual exploration. This is a multi-dimensional community for spiritual seekers, healers, teachers, and guides for the global awakening. With Soul Search, the spiritual seeker can easily search for and connect with healing modalities, spiritual teachings, practices, and practitioners. You can explore high vibrational online and in-person spiritual events across the globe. Within the Soul Search community, you can join groups or take courses for your spiritual journey. With Soul Search, you are part of an inclusive, growing global community for consciousness. For spiritually conscious practitioners, Soul Search connects you to a global audience seeking your services. Build your credibility with a robust profile that demonstrates your expertise and experience. Post client reviews, articles, videos, photos, and audio. You can create secure and private online communities for your groups and clients. Be a part of an awakening community for spirituality where you can collaborate and connect with practitioners and seekers. As our gift to the Global Peace Tribe, we have created a group in the Soul Search community where Global Peace Tribe members can connect, share, and create together for the global consciousness awakening. Whether you are a spiritual seeker, healer, or just curious, join soulsearch.io today. Don't miss out on this opportunity to be part of our high vibrational community for the global awakening. We're excited to be connecting with your soul and radiant light.
What do you think, Trish? What do you think, Dawn? Is this like
Awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So supportive and amazing.
Yeah.
We have so many like people showing up. It's like it's the community, right? It's the communities morphing and merging together, and it's and what I like, whoever you had doing the vocals, I'm like, ooh.
There's her. There's
me.
Oh my God! Can you sing me to sleep every night? Thanks. Wow.
So here's something that I've learned about Tangela that I think is really interesting, how perfect that life has chosen this woman to create community, because she's lived in Bangladesh, Saudi Arabia, New Orleans, Afghanistan, for big chunks of time. She has been indoctrinated and explored multiple religious, multiple cultures. So that to me is really fascinating. I mean, it's rare that someone, and she's only 21 years old, right?
Exactly.
But really, someone, and she's been a very successful businesswoman. She has explored a lot of different cultures and worlds, even working with the military in Afghanistan. So a really remarkable life, and it's led her to Sedona, Arizona, and the creation of Soul Search. So I'm kind of curious, with that incredibly diverse background, how does that lead you to where you are today?
Wow, thanks, Scott. That's a good question. I mean, I think, we've been talking about this era that we are now in, this global transformation, this era of global awakening. And, I think my background of having lived and grown up around the world, I was raised Muslim. I've been, I've lived in many communities around the world and explored many mystical practices, spiritual practices, also, very scientific and very business oriented. And, just around the world, wherever I've gone and wherever I've been, there's this greater desire for connection to consciousness. But at the same time, we're so heavily programmed. I myself grew up very heavily programmed. Each one of us, we have programs of culture, religion, society, family, and it creates our entire belief system and it creates our entire world. So, going from country to country, in a place like Afghanistan, it was very interesting for me to work there because honestly, it was the first time that, most of the Afghan men had ever worked with a woman. And they would actually tell me, people would walk into my office and then just walk right out because they were so uncomfortable with, seeing a woman, and they were not able to speak to her, let alone try to do any business with me. But then when they found out that in order to get a grant, in order to get funding, they would have to come and speak to me, they would somehow force themselves, and we would have a conversation together. And, and I can't tell you countless times that so many men would tell me, thank you. Before I met you, I thought all women were lazy and stupid. And it's just, it may be surprising for people to hear that. And it's not, it's just to show you that everyone has different programs. Everyone has different programs in every part of the world, in every culture, and every society. And so just me having grown up around the world, I was always very aware of that. And I was pretty shocked because I was brought up in Saudi Arabia, but then I would be traveling to Bangladesh, and then I would be coming back to America. And I was just so surprised by how different people were and different the cultures were. And I was like, but I would also know that, like, in our hearts, we're so connected, and we all want the same things. We want the same things for our family. We want prosperity and comfort and good health and joy and love, and where does that come from? And so that kind of started, me on my own spiritual journey outside of my own programs that I had grown up with, and, religious and cultural. And, it's brought me to where I am today with creating Soul Search, because, my deprogramming took place through many, and it still is taking place, with many forms of my identity I have to let go of and lose. But it's taken place over many years, and with the support of spiritual practice, of spiritual healers, of guides, of energetic work, of meditation, of retreats. And, and this is an exploration and journey that's always continuing. And for me, as I was living in New York City and a businesswoman, I was hosting spiritual events, and people were coming to me and saying, I really want to learn more. I want to go into this more. I want to learn more about meditation, or where can I go on a retreat, or who can I talk to? I'm feeling so constricted. I don't know where to go. And there was no destination for people to just go to start this exploration journey, which for everyone is different. And so that's really why I created Soul Search, because I wanted there to become this global platform where people can start going to start connecting with healers, to start connecting with guides, exploring modalities, finding events to attend locally, internationally, virtually. There's so much knowledge and wisdom that teachers from around the world have to offer. All of the people on here today, all of the people that are going to be at the new Living Expo that Ken is putting on, and really, we are now at the time of global awakening and consciousness, that people around the world are really hungry for this knowledge, for this wisdom, and for this experience, because it is an experience. That's why people love the new Living Expo, because they go there for the experience of being able to interact and connect energetically with everyone there. And so with Soul Search, we're really looking to create that opportunity experience for everyone around the world, and that's the goal, and that's the vision, because, consciousness is ready now. We're in the age of Aquarius, and consciousness is ready. People are ready, and they're hungry for this wisdom and for this knowledge. And we're all here. We're all together working to raise the vibration of the planet. And it's working, it's working. The vibrations are rising, and people are connecting. And so this is all about, how do we continue bringing people together? How do we continue moving beyond all of the separations that we've created within and amongst one another? And then how do we really move into unconditional love, starting with ourselves, but then of course, going from ourselves out to everyone worldwide.
I love what you're doing. I brought Bruce and Trish and Dawn on because they're all like, I can tell they're like in rapt attention. And it's beautiful how everybody is saying really a similar thing from different points of view, Bruce, what do you think? Does this, I told you she was a powerhouse.
Yes. I am honored to hear her and excited because I was not familiar with Tangila's work until just this evening. And now I have a destination to go look forward to get in there. because I'm fully behind the whole story of where did all these programs come from and why they're different. And it's interesting because, as we're going to talk about a little bit later, I hope, it's real interesting that from a biological point of view, we all came from the same source. But programs which take us in that first 7 years are basically separation programs. So we might have Muslim, Christian, Jew, and these are programs. These are not who we are. We came from the same place, but then we get put into these programs which separate us, and that is anti-evolution, because evolution is community, not it's cooperation. It's not Darwin. Darwin is completely wrong and screwed us all up with the idea that we're here in a survival of the fittest struggle for life and all that competition. When it's like, no, we're here to celebrate, become a cooperative unit. Yes. We are cells. Each of us is a cell in a bigger super thing called humanity. Humanity is the organism, and we are the cells. And right now, humanity is experiencing autoimmune disease, which is called self-destructive disease. And in fact, most of the issues on this planet are self-destructive because we lost the harmony.
Well, thank you, Bruce, for sharing that. My dog started barking. All right, we're going to get to Kimberly and Dr. Ravi, but I want to just real quickly remind people, if you haven't already, register now for soulsearch.io. And we've been putting into the chat box, we'll put it again, the special code for Global Peace Tribers. So join this. There's so many cool things going on. I mean, look at all these categories. So all of us are interested in some of these things. And so this is how you're going to find great resources or provide your resources. You know, the majority of people watching this are astrologers, healers, caregivers of some sort. So, Tangela, thank you so much for what you've created. We're going to be working a lot with Tangela. We're going to do an entire Awakening World weekend with her, the first weekend of June. So we're all going to get to know her and a lot of the amazing people that she works with. So it's great to have you with us, Tangela.
Thank you, Scott. And yes, I'd just like to encourage everyone. Also, you can join the Global Peace Tribe group in the Soul Search community, because that's another way for everyone here to stay connected, to continue communicating, and also start planning, you know, new events, in-person events, live events, virtual events. And also we have a new group for the new Living Expo as well. So for those of you who are also attending the new Living Expo and would like to be connected there, start having some conversations and also stay connected afterwards, you're welcome to come join that as well. So we have a lot of different opportunities, and there you go. There's the new Living Expo group. And we have psychic training, making contact. That's Alan Steinfeld's group for ETs, star seeds, hybrids, Global Peace Tribe. So, you know, we have so many groups. And of course, if you are a member, you're welcome to start your own group as well. We really, you know, this is all about community. And like we were all talking about, you know, this is, you know, the future is about community. We're now in the age of Aquarius. We're moving beyond the time of co-optation and competition and dissension, and we're into community and collaboration. And this is, you know, one place for that, for all of them.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Tangela. And Tangela and I are already talking about doing a retreat, a Global Peace Tribe retreat in October in Sedona. So it's going to be, you're going to be seeing a lot of Tangela with Global Peace Tribe. All right, I am going to bring up Kimberly Meredith. And here our show is called The Awakening World. And guess what? She's written a book all about awakening into the fifth dimension. So how do we do that? How do we wake up?
Well, we make a commitment to understanding that it's not just being spiritual. It's being committed to understanding that it's being attacked environmentally. We're in a climate crisis, and it's in a new revolutionary way of healing your body, discovering that It's committing to everything, relationships, environment, and understanding that it's a full-on commitment with every aspect. So it's like, for instance, say you are 5 minutes a day meditating, and you're really throwing yourself into your meditation practice, and you are saying, I am love, I am light, I am joy, I am peace. But then you're drinking out of a plastic container and you're brushing your teeth with fluoride. How could you really be going into the fifth dimension and beyond? Because you're contaminating yourself into a lower fifth dimensional frequency. So what I talk about is awakening yourself into a fifth dimensional state of frequency and consciousness. So it's a lot like what Bruce is saying. It's science meets a fifth dimensional consciousness where we're moving not only ourselves and our body and every cell of our frequency, but the whole global universe has to wake up. And not only is it just our own body and frequency, it's the whole conscious global frequency, because we only have a few years left here. But what's happening is that we are awakening, just like the name of this group, The Awakening. The awakening is happening. So what I wrote about, what I didn't write about, what the guides wrote about, is step-by-step understanding that with the organic lifestyle that we choose and the knowledge that we have in this book, and there's many books out there, not just Kimberly's books, but many books, and the guides want us to learn how to live the healthiest that we can live, and also spiritually boosting our brains and our body, but also consciously eating the right food, drinking the right water, and living the right way, but also living the right way. So globally, consciously feeding our brains daily, but committing to this new revolutionary way of living and spreading this type of joy and love. And not only that, but like you said a minute ago, there isn't any space or time for jealousy or pettiness. That's really what the fifth dimension and beyond is about. And not only that, expecting miracles. That's the fifth dimension and beyond. So when you see a miracle, that's not peculiar. That's just expecting that miracle to happen.
Well, speaking of miracles, I'm going to start taking questions from our audience. And Mary Noonan writes, Kimberly, can you tell us about your journey out of the wheelchair and perhaps your NDE?
Okay. Well, I had 2 near-death experiences. And the first one was bad. The second one was horrific. So I'll talk about the second one. The second one, you can read about both of them in the book. The second one, I was thrown into the street 65 feet. I cracked my skull open, and my dog licked my face while blood ran down the back of my skull. And there was cars coming head on and could have run me over, but because he stood above me, they swerved because they didn't want to hit a dog. And I saw angels above me and skeletons around me. And I, of course, was blacked out and taken to the hospital. And I had brain surgery. And in that, I saw myself above, floating. And after that, shortly, I was in a wheelchair for over a year. I was told I would never, ever, ever be able to hold my head up alone. I was in a collar, and I suffered a huge, terrifying amount of pain. My eyes started to blink and communicate with spirit. How I knew it was spirit is because when I was little, I would blink and communicate with spirit. But my mom did not like it. And she was abusive, and she would slap me across the face and tell me to stop blinking when I was a baby. But lo and behold, what God wants to have happen will always come back and meet you again and greet you. So I accepted this communication with spirit, and I started to, as I was healing in the chair, started to communicate and learn to become a full-blown trance channel.
So as you went through all that pain, but was it worth it? Would you say that the state of consciousness that you're in now is worth what you went through?
Yes, thank you, Scott. It is now, because I know that God had a bigger purpose for me, because after that, my life became much easier, and things just became, simpler now and flowing, because now I help people, I save lives through the Holy Spirit, of course, does it. But now I'm a preventative medium, and I find cancer in people's bodies and they don't know it. And I've been tested through different organizations that this is not, just something that's happening. It is real. And that, I've only been doing this for about 7 years. So it's very fast. And this is the what God's plan is, the spirit.
Beautiful. Well, I definitely want to encourage people. We'll hear from Kimberly again, but right now, since she just spoke about the book, her website is called healingtrilogy.com. She hosts her own radio show, by the way. She's a medical intuitive. And you can book a session by going to her website. And you can certainly also see all the places where you can get her book, Awakening to the Fifth Dimension. Look at all those places you can get it. So it's very impressive. And she's going to even be in store. But if you're going to meet her in person, you want to go to the New Living Expo. That's where you want to go, because that's where you're going to meet all these people. Plus, Kenny, how many other presenters do you have lined up?
100 speakers, probably half a dozen special events. I'll just give a quick rundown because of the people who are speaking here today. Tangela is speaking at 4 o'clock on Friday, Ravi Ratan, 12 o'clock on Saturday, and Bruce will be doing his special event 4 o'clock on Sunday for 2 hours, followed by a book signing. Kimberly will be speaking twice because she's so popular. Friday at 6 for a short little talk, and then her special event is Saturday at 7 for 2 hours. So you can see those and many more. And and remember that 22% discount is only good through this weekend. If you want to take advantage of it, just put that in apply code on the Eventbrite link, and you get a 22% discount, which is, we've never offered that before. So take advantage of the special, and you'll have a much better time. And our VIP pass, all access, was $3.99 last year's, the years before, and now this year is only $2.99, minus your 22%. So you're saving good money for.
And that's the way that is definitely the way to do it. The VIP event, I'm still opening it up. That is the way to go.
Yeah.
Because there's so much going on, and that gets you right in. And again, a reminder, look at the amazing people that are going to be on. You look at the speaker schedule. This is Friday, this is Saturday, and this is Sunday. And look at all the amazing speakers he's got. It's just incredible. As I said, the hard part is it's like being at the Smithsonian Institute. It's like there's too much to do. Whenever I go to the expo, it's like, why don't we do this for a month, right? Because it's going to take that long to see and hear everybody. It's amazing what you put together, Ken. Absolutely amazing. And we have one.
And I couldn't do it without my wife, by the way. I want you to know that.
Where did Karine go? Where did Karina go?
Karina's talking to my brother back here, but I told her I couldn't do it without her.
All right. Well, when she comes back in, here she comes. All right. Well, when she comes back in, I've pulled up the seaweed.
Kaufman.
There she is. There is Karina behind.
I need to go to bed. It's almost my bedtime.
Oh my
But
God.
God bless you, and I look forward to seeing you at the show. And thank God for this wonderful guy.
And Karina, thank you for taking such good
my
care of her.
art.
And
Look at that.
there's your artwork. Yeah. Well, we've got you here. Look at all this amazing artwork out of seaweed. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
At 3 by 4 feet large.
You'll see it there at the
Wow.
show. Right?
Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to that.
All
Queenie,
right.
thank you for taking good care of Kenny for us.
Oh, I take good care of him.
Yes,
I
he
love him
does.
to pieces. 23 years we've been together.
Yeah, going on.
Married 20, and it gets better every year.
That's the way for it. That's what we
Every
want to
month.
hear.
We think out of the box, right?
Every month it gets better.
That's that honeymoon effect, I think.
Honeymoon
Yeah.
for life.
Okay.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but you know, like they say, if you work it, it works, and you're worth it.
Took that from Montgomery.
All right, see you
Beautiful.
later.
We've got Bruce for 25 years. We've got Kenny for 23 years. Very inspiring. Very inspiring.
My husband and I have been 19 years this year.
Wow.
Wow.
And
Wow.
they're what did you say?
Our principle is honeymoon for life.
Yeah, mine too.
We're getting applause from Bruce on that.
Yes, and it's doable. That's the best part of it. And I'm so excited that this is our mission, because we can take this war-torn, disease-torn planet that is giving us all these symptoms, saying, you know, you have to do something here because you guys are creating this mess. You are the ones that are going to have to get out of this mess. And the speakers on this panel, you know, and Ravi will talk to us more about his stuff. And you know, Ken, thank you so much for bringing this together, because knowledge is power, and you're offering the community a great opportunity to evolve with the people that are going to be at the expo. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Bruce. And I just want to say one thing about Bruce is I first met you a little over 22 years ago when I was running the World School of Massage after I sold Whole Life Expo. We invited you to speak to probably 30 people in the students at the massage school there in San Francisco back in the day. So that
I
was my
remember.
first connection with you, and never forgot you from that point.
Well, thanks for keeping me in mind for this program, because I love the opportunity to help people create what they really want in this life. And your program is important for all of that. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
We have not heard enough from Ravi, and he is our new friend all the way from India. I really so appreciate, you know, I noticed on Unify, a lot of the people were talking about the power of aromatherapy and what people use. So I'm going to go to your website for a moment, sir, and tell us a little bit about what people can find and kind of what makes your aromatantra a little bit unique. Tell us and how people can utilize it.
Look, I have been using two of my oils. What you see here is one is called Vastu and another is called Protect. These two oils have pulled me through entire COVID times. Like Vastu is a blend of Tulsi, which is holy basil, rosemary, frankincense, sage, and cinnamon. And this is one oil to cleanse the negative energy from your aura, but also you can drink it. And when you drink it, it protects your throat. If you have a throat allergy, cough, cold, any kind of thing, it clears you within 2 days. Like even if I had COVID also, traveling in United States in September last year, but I was drinking this oil. So I didn't have any symptom. Only symptom was I used to get feverish at the end of the day. Otherwise, I didn't lose my sense of taste, nor the sense of smell or nothing. So this oil and the other oil is Protect, which is the best oil to clear your sinuses, lungs, and everything. So these two oils pulled me through. Another very good oil I have is the Best Skincare. That was my first product actually I made when I got into aromatherapy. It was like I was not into aromatherapy, I was into perfumery. And I did some oil blend for somebody, and then I was having some oils and I made this blend for my wife who had acne scars from her teens. And within 3 months, her acne scars cleared up. And the beautician she used to go to, she asked, "What are you doing to your face?" And my wife just said, oh, my husband is doing some aromatherapy. And she said, I want it. So she was the one who demanded oils from me. And then I started getting people in India at that time. When I started, aromatherapy was not even known. It was word of mouth. People started coming to me for conditions which, like somebody, if brother of my friend had this big bed sores on his both buttocks, and he was in the top Mumbai hospital for a period of 3 to 6 months, and nothing was healing. Doctors did a skin grafting. They removed the skin from the thigh and put it on the buttocks to heal the bed sores. They will not heal. So I suggested him to use aromatherapy oils. He said, okay, I tried everything. Let me try this also. So I gave him the oils. I told him how to apply and do the dressing at home. And I came out for a trip of mine. And when I went back after 21 days, I asked him, how's your brother doing? He said, you should come and see. When I went back, both the bed sores, both the buttocks were healed completely, sealed. Same way, a friend of mine asked us to see a child in a Mumbai hospital. The child was suffering from the adhesions of intestine. That means the food was not going down. It has to be taken out from the mouth only. It was not moving down. Wow. And doctors did bypass surgery. They cut that much portion of intestine and they thought they are done. But after 3 months, the adhesions came back. And then they did the procedure again and again the adhesions came back. So this guy said, can you help the child? Because doctor is saying now that we have cut this child 3 times in a 1 year period. Can you call somebody who does alternative therapy? So me and my wife, we both do healing. So we went to the hospital, top Mumbai hospital in the ICU. We checked the child chakra. We used the chakra oils. We did the energy healing. Within a week, adhesions started clearing up. Wow. The child was out from ICU within 10 days. And he was at home within a month. That was the power of aromatherapy. So I gave up using synthetic oils in perfumery and devoted myself into aromatherapy. And all this work of mine has led to these products. They are all tried and tested products which I put on this thing. I have been selling these products over the years in United States. The demand has just been increasing.
Wow. Beautiful. It's very, very exciting. And again, you can get them by going to aromatantra.com.
Yes.
Or even better, go to the new Living Expo.
Yes.
That's where you're going to see so many amazing products like this.
Yes.
I'm not like this. I mean, of course, it's unique. What I mean by that is the diversity of. It's just beautiful. Our whole community coming together. And speaking of community, I'm going to bring all of our presenters on. We've only got about 15 minutes left.
Yeah.
But there's a great question that came in from Dorina. And Dorina's coming to us all the way from Ecuador. And her question is to all panelists and participants, what tool of transformation has been most useful to you so far? So that's the question. So which tool? It sounds like we just heard from Dr. Ravi, your tool of your sprays. Those sprays kept you healthy.
My another tool has been yoga.
Aha, yoga.
What yoga is the most important tool for transformation of consciousness.
Which form of yoga do you do, sir?
Okay, now I do something called Kriya Yoga.
Kriya, of course, Yogananda, my master teacher.
Kriyas are actually 8 aspects of yoga. Like Patanjali said, 8 aspects of yoga. Yama, Niyama. Yama are the rules of the society you need to follow. First thing first. Niyam is self-discipline. You need, unless you have self-discipline, you can never be healthy. Asanas are the physical exercise we all do. This is what people think yoga is. Yoga asanas. The yoga asanas are meant to keep the physical body fit and also to stabilize the mind. Then something called pranayama. Pranayama is regulation of breath. Now we all breathe, but none of us are conscious of our breath. If we breathe consciously, half of our health problems can be resolved. Like I tell people, one of my guru used to say, entire world population can be divided into two categories of people. One category of people dominant in the left nostril, another category of people dominant in the right nostril. Now, we are not breathing from both the nostrils at any given time. Our breathing nostril changes every 45 minutes, which is not a perfect cycle. So when we are breathing from the left nostril, we are breathing the energy of moon. And when we are breathing from the right nostril, we are breathing the energy of sun. And 45 minutes, after 45 minutes, there is a changeover, 15 minutes changeover time, but that's not a perfect cycle. So some people breathe more of moon energy. Now, moon energy makes these people more emotional by nature. And people who are more emotional by nature, they are prone to depressions. Moon energy is cooling energy. These people tend to have low body temperatures. They tend to have low blood pressure. These people are mostly in their sacral chakra. So they are prone to their sacral chakra issues. Okay. And they are the right nostril dominant people. Right nostril dominant people are breathing sun energy. They are very pushy and ambitious in life. They push themselves and everybody else around them. So these people are prone to hypertension, high cholesterol, acid reflux, headaches and migraines, diabetes and all that. So now yoga teaches you a simple exercise which is called alternate nostrils breathing. Inhale from left, exhale to right, inhale from right, exhale to left. You practice that. You can balance your breathing nostril and your life can be balanced.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Half of your health problems are solved.
So Dr. Ratan's, because we only have time for each person to give a quick one. So yoga, more yoga, more yoga.
Yoga is not only the physical asanas, all the aspects of yoga.
All aspects of yoga.
Dhyan, dharana, samadhi, you see, that's the process.
Beautiful. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that reminder. All right, same question to Tangela, Kenny, Bruce, Kimberly, Trish, Dawn. Your number one tool for transformation. You each have like 1 or 2 minutes, and then we'll wrap up. So who's got a quickie? Dawn.
I would say spiritual psychology principles. Number 1, seeing the loving essence. And number 2, hearing with the ear of your heart, hearing the loving essence. And how you relate to the issue is the issue. So it helps dissolve all patterning and helps you reside into the neutral observer inside of yourself. So you experience yourself as loving essence in the here and now, and you're not reverting back to old patterning, programming. It helps break through intergenerational patterning.
Yes.
And
boom.
So spiritual psychology.
And people can learn all about spiritual psychology. Are you accepting any clients these days, Dawn?
Yes, my program is actually open. I did my first challenge this past week. It's called Unleash Your Sovereign Queen. And so doors are open. It's a 9-week program, and it's all woven spiritual psychology.
Wow. Unleash Your Sovereign Queen. We've had Dawn on the shows before because we love Dawn, but this was a special surprise that she was jumping in with us. So do me a favor, put the website into the chat box, and I'll pull it up for everybody before we end tonight. Okay?
Yes.
Trish, while we've got the camera on you, tool for transformation?
Beyond the one that I always share about what's for you is really... Oh gosh, there's so many. Oh, just pick one. Okay. So the one that I'm really appreciating right now is one that one of my mentors shared with me this weekend, which is leaning back into the big back body and allowing self to be in, what do you call it? Well, I call it witness, but
Neutral observation.
neutral observer, and to actually just lean back and kind of take your consciousness from the outward that Bruce was sharing and bring it back into the body. Do your body scan, your awareness practice, and then to allow yourself to go back and hold space for all that is happening. And it is actually really transforming my life right now. I'm separating from my partner and have been able to hold deep, loving space and really shift things for him, because I'm not attached to whatever program
Bingo.
or story, or it's not about me, right? I'm like there with him.
Not in the egoic identification, egoic patternings, because the programming is crystallized egoic patterning.
Yes.
That we're all conditioned to experience here in the Earth School. This is
Yep.
Earth School.
Absolutely. All right. Well, beautiful. And just a reminder that these two lovely ladies every Thursday morning do this beautiful show, the Self-Love Show, 10 a.m. Pacific time. You can find it on Facebook, Self-Love Show. Or also you have a YouTube channel now. You can go back and get all the previous shows on YouTube. So thank you, Trish and Dawn, for being with us. Tangela, I'm going to put the spotlight on you. What is your tool for transformation you want to share?
So I would just ask everyone to close their eyes for a minute and just breathe out and relax. Just relax and feel your spiritual heart and be at peace. And feel your heart glowing brighter and brighter and brighter. And feel yourself as the sun, radiating and shining your light out into the universe, connecting with the cosmic sun, the cosmic heart of the universe, and relaxing and feeling into the oneness of who you are. Thank you. So that was very short, but that's, my practice, because so much of the time we're in our minds, and we're programmed to be in our minds. Whereas, we are truly the creators of our reality in every moment. And that creation and that creator lives in our heart. And so much of our time we spend constricted and stressed. And the constriction is because of who we feel we have to be in every moment. And when we can just take a step back to relax and drop into our heart, then we can let who we truly are come forth. So that's my practice.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And again, a reminder, if you haven't registered, go to soulsearch.io. Look at all these wonderful groups you can be a part of. And definitely, everybody watching is part of Global Peace Tribe. And we've been putting into the chat box, both on Facebook and on Zoom, how to do that. So thank you, Tangela. Looking forward to our next connection with you.
Thank you.
I'm going to bring Bruce up for a moment. And actually, Bruce, I've got a specific question that's come up. People are asking, last weekend our whole show was on Earth Day, and we had probably a lot of people like Dwayne Elgin telling us the same thing you've been talking about. It's hard news, that the oceans are going to be empty in 20 years, and only 10% of the fish are even left. So people are asking very specifically, how do we manage how do we deal with things like the war in Europe or climate change?
Well, one of the most important things is to recognize that we are creating, and that the creation is independent. I mean, I'm in the middle of all these things as well. Everybody is, the war, the pandemic, the economic upheaval, all this stuff. The question is, you want to be a participant in that, or as Buckminster Fuller would tell us, look, why don't you go outside and build another world out here? And this is the biggest issue, is to let go of this structure. It's failing for a reason, and to start to join in. But look, we've had so many talks from people right here with their organizations. It's time to move out of the standard world things that we've been doing and start moving into another world. We can't solve the problems inside that box. And it's time for us to recognize as Buckminster Fuller said, the only way to solve it is to build something new outside the box. And this is what, Ken is bringing together in the Expo story is basically, how do we live outside of this box? And it turns out we live pretty darn good if you can get out of there, because then you become that creator person. I can't wait for the Expo to really go into it. If I could just in 1 minute, because I want to tell everybody everything, it's basically this. We are living programs 95% of the day. Unfortunately, you can't tell me what your programs are because they were already being programmed in the last trimester of pregnancy, even before you were born. You were programmed a whole year from 0 to 1. You were programmed another whole year from 1 to 2 and from 2 to 3. And I say, so tell me what the programs are. And the reality is, I don't know, but my life is manifesting them without me knowing I'm participating. That's why we feel we're victims. We have great wishes and desires, and then we have trouble manifesting them. And then we actually look outside and say, oh, that person's a problem, that thing's a problem, without even knowing we were creating these problems all day. And so you need to know the program. So I'll just very quickly, hopefully, just tell you, look at your life right now. And here's 2 things. 1, the things you like and love that come into your life, well, they come in because you have a program to acknowledge them. But the things you work hard at, stress over, put a lot of effort into it. I'm sweating over, I'm working, I'm making it happen. Why are you working so hard? And the answer is that destination is not covered by your program. And that's it. Don't fight the world, rewrite the program. And then all of a sudden, you're not the victim anymore. You become the creator. And this is our mission. And I'm so excited to be in this community because the way out of this problem is to re-empower ourselves because we have been disempowered for hundreds of years. And now it's time to take it back. And I want to thank you all for letting me yap on this talk thing because I'm so excited to let people know how powerful you really are and you don't even know it. That's so exciting.
Bruce, thank you so much. You are an inspiration. You're fabulous, fabulous. Hey, I also want to let everybody know, another big part of the Whole Life Expo, or the New Living Expo, I always call it the Whole Life Expo, is UFO stuff. And we don't have any speakers today talking about UFO stuff, but of course there's going to be a lot of wonderful people at the Expo who are focused on the whole UFO field. And Deborah Giusti, who I co-created Saturday Night Alive with, is partnering with Alan Steinfeld, who is a regular contributor to the Awakening World. And they have put together a very special series. It's going to start May 19th. So I just want to let everybody know about that series. And they've actually sent me a video, which I'm going to play, which will tell us a little bit about this. So they are dear friends, and that's what we do on Global Peace Tribe. We let people know about Soul Search and about Bruce's books and about all the wonderful things, and this is something really exciting. So here's a little video. I haven't even seen it. They just sent it to me to play tonight. So here we go.
From deep, deep in outer space to planet Earth, to the red rocks of Sedona, to our online community here, comes a time, a message, a special series on making contact.
There is no better time for making contact. I'm George Norrie, host of the national radio show Coast to Coast AM. Alan Steinfeld has put together a well-conceived collection that covers it all.
Thanks, George, for that introduction. This is Alan Steinfeld, the editor and author of Making Contact, which is a collection of writings of the best and brightest people in the field of ufology. I'm putting together a special series of some of these fantastic contributors to my book. People like Whitley Strieber, Linda Moulton Howe, Carolyn Corey, Nick Pope, JJ and Desiree Hertog, and such contactees as Marina Sarin and Kamara Jones and the Art of Kamara Jones, plus some very special surprises in the field. Please join me for this fantastic series of dialogues as I dive deeper into anything I've done before. For more information and for a complete description of the 5-week course, go to makingcontactseries.com. George, any final comments?
The contributions of all these people help to give insight into the multifaceted intentions of the phenomena. This is most needed at this time because Making Contact presents the opportunity for us to prepare to meet advanced civilizations. Someday, somehow in the future, the conflicts that have plagued our species for eons will come to an end. And by making contact, we will take our rightful place among the stars.
Wow.
The Making Contact series is presented by Alan Steinfeld and New Realities, Deborah Giusti and the Global Peace Tribe, in association with Neil Gar, Portal to Ascension. Join us for this online series, Making Contact, the New Realities of Disclosure and Cosmic Awakening, taking place on Thursdays beginning May 19th from 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific Time. The first session is free. To find out more and to sign up, go to makingcontactseries.com. See you there.
Very, very cool. Hey, Kenny, who are some of the UFO galactic family people you've got on your that are going to be at the expo this weekend?
UFO-wise, well, Robert Perella is hosting a UFO panel. That's always one of the most popular. Saturday at I think it's like 5 o'clock to 6:30, and then Danny Sheehan does a workshop right after that. But I want to give Kimberly a chance to chime in because she's going to be doing some mediumship readings during the weekend. So let her tell a little bit about her, and then I'll wrap it up.
Okay, sound good. Kimberly, what do you? Tell us more about what you're going to be doing.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to be doing some really cool, what I do is mediumship readings, health readings. So I'm a medical medium, and what I do is I go through the whole entire body. It's going to be super cool. And I find the root cause of what's going on in people's systems. So sometimes people may have a thyroid condition or a brain tumor, or maybe you have long haul COVID, whatever it may have been. And so I go through the whole entire system and find exactly what is causing that. And like a main tool that I like to do is clear chakras and talk about what chakra is not working for you. So this is going to be super exciting and fun. And I'll go through the entire room and pick many people to come up on stage and do this. So this is super, super cool and exciting. And I see colors around people. And sometimes people will say, well, this is something that you have in your mind that may be the issue, but I see something else going on. And then they'll be like, oh yeah, that did happen. So maybe your knee's been injured, or your intestinal tract has had an issue, and I'll know like maybe it's happened 19 years ago and this has been going on. So like a lot of people that come to me had something going on for maybe 19 years and you want to find a solution for it. I'm the person that does that, helps you out with that. So in the back of my book, I talk about a lady that came to me to talk about troubles with her boyfriend. And this is a Skype session. And when she came on, I started getting hot flashes. So I found a breast lump in her, and it was 4-stage cancer.
Wow.
So this is like an example of what the guides do. So this is going to be going on at the expo. And so what happens at the expo, I'll go in the room and I will pick out different people, bring them up. This is the 5th dimension. It's psychic, it's intuitive, but it's a bit more than that, because what they like to do is take it a little step further, and they like the whole room to also give healing and ask the energy of spirit to heal. And this is where the miracle comes in.
Oh, God bless you for the work. Thank you for being such a clear channel for spirit to flow through.
Thanks for having me here.
And the amazing thing that what Kimberly does is that spirit guides her to who needs the healing. It's not like she picks, oh, John, look in the first row. The spirit takes her to who needs the healing the most. And I've watched this live so many times. It's just, you get teary-eyed from watching these people.
And which day and what time is that going to be, Ken?
It's going to be, her biggest thing is Saturday at 7 o'clock. and she'll do a little preview at that on Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
And then the other UFO person we have is, I mean, a little bit of UFO is Laura Eisenhower, she'll be on tomorrow night.
That's right.
Saturday Night Live, so she can talk about that more, but she's sort of like, just a fantastic speaker that's very popular with our audience. So.
Well, that's a good segue just to let people know, since we're almost done for the night. Tomorrow night, you don't want to miss it. We're going to have Marianne Williamson, Daniel Brinkley, Laura Eisenhower, Celestine Starr, Elizabeth Wilcock, Renee and Anthony. Again, it's too many wonderful people. And as always, because it's a Saturday night, we're going to have great music with David Seva and Magical Joyride and Magic. Our favorite magician, Sean Jay, is going to be back with us. So tomorrow night is going to be a really full show. So you want to make sure you join us at 5:30 for the early show. We're going to be chatting with Daniel Brinkley and then all those wonderful people. And then finally, on Sunday morning, we've got, again, a great group. John Gray, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and many other books. He's going to be with us live. We've also got Suzanne Ross, Tangila's new partner, and Maureen St. Germain is going to be with us, and Lisa Barnett. So, Kenny, you've just brought in all your favorite people. They're amazing.
Yeah.
So
you wanted diversity, I gave you diversity.
boy, you pulled it off, including somebody all the way from India. So thank you, Dr. Ravi, for being with us. I'm going to bring everybody on one last time. And so let's all twinkle and send love and blessings and appreciations to these wonderful folks. I'm going to bring, I'll actually go to gallery view. Let's just go to gallery view. So turn on your cameras, everybody. There we go. We're wrapping up for the night, but we will see you tomorrow evening, Saturday night at hopefully 5:30. And God's blessings. Have a beautiful evening, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Don't miss it tomorrow, and buy tickets. Get the 22% discount by NLE22.
Wait, sir, could I ask a question? I would like to ask a question real quick.
Are we doing Q&A?
Okay?
I think Q&A will
Like,
have to be
2 seconds, please.
All right, 2 seconds.
All right, so with climate change wreaking havoc on the planet, 1/10 of the population in India, for example, is experiencing 50 degrees Celsius weather. And with climate change and governments not implementing change, what should the spiritual community do in order to help fixate these problems and these dilemmas we're facing head on?
So I saw Kimberly raise her hand.
Well, one thing I wrote in my book, I have a whole chapter on it. One of the chapters that I channeled is about water can save your life. And I feel like if we all just stop drinking out of plastic, that would really help. And I do feel like in the matter of 2 years that it'll be off the shelves. Fossil fuel has got to stop. It's like huge. That's like a huge thing.
Great, thank you. And I think we also go back and watch the recording of what Bruce said, because Bruce really answered this question quite profoundly, I thought. So I do want to honor our presenters. They've already stayed on longer, so thank you everybody for staying with us. Again, I'll go to gallery view just so everybody can say goodbye, good night, and we'll see you all tomorrow on The Awakening World.
Thank
Take
you,
care, everybody.
Scott.
Thanks,
you,
everybody.
Scott. Thank you, everyone.